So been working on creating a bit of an asset pack here. However, now it's time to do a little bit of greebling amongst texturing and all that kind of jazz. But I want power boxes, and so today we're going to create a power box, material, put a material on it. We're going to focus on having that material in Blender. However, we can go later on and bake it out, whatever you want to do. But let's kind of go straight from start to finish on how we go about creating it. So I had AI generate an image for me, kind of going for a sci-fi industrial style power box. Now I'm not going to follow this to the T. This is going to be more of a guide. I really like some of the shapes, especially the top bit and the way the door is. So let's kind of like, take bits and pieces of it and we'll go from there. We'll also try and texture it with a red stripe. I think that looks pretty cool. So to start off with, shift right click on the wall, and that's going to place my 3D cursor in that spot. Shift A, mesh, add in a cube. Lovely. From here, I'm just going to hide all my buildings just to make my life easier, and then we can just focus on this building, power box. What I am going to do is just select this back face, and I'm going to move it along the x-axis by -1, +1, just so the origin point is on that back face, so that when we come time to start applying it to surfaces, it's going to snap to the wall rather than like being halfway in the wall. So there's our box. Cool, done. No. Scale along the y-axis 0.5. So now this box is 0.5 meter by 1 meter by 1 meter. No, it's not. 2 meters by 1 meter by 1 meter. So let's make this side a little bit smaller, 0.5 to the minus. There we go. I think that's a fairly good size. Now I'm not going to be worrying about opening and closing. It's just going to be a stationary object that we're not going to be interactive with. So that's where we can do a little bit of fudgery. So from here, I'm going to press I to do an inset. So I've inserted the face. I'm going to shift D to duplicate that face and just pull it out. And I want to delete this face. Let me just get rid of the spin tool there, just so we don't have all those arrows. From here, I'm going to select these back faces here. This edge here with Alt and Shift left click, so we kind of go around. Control B to do a bevel, and then middle mouse just to raise the number up. So you can see now we've got a bit of a curve, which is pretty cool. From here, I'm also going to select this edge and the back edge. Control B to do another bevel, and we're just going to curve that around. Nice. Right click, shade smooth by angle. Cool bananas. Now the back face here, we can see that it is an n-gon, so it's not a square or a triangle, but it's got a whole bunch of vertices on it. Especially if we go into vertex mode, we can see that already we've got 4, blah, blah, blah. Easy. Delete faces, and I'm going to select the bottom face and just press F, 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 F. One more, nope. And so now we've got quads all the way around. The front as well should be fine. Excellent. We will probably do the exact same thing on the door. So from here, I'm actually going to make the door not be the same radius as the walls. So I can do Control Shift B to bevel a vertice. There we go. That's great. However, we've got this giant n-gon now. I'm going to press delete, but only face. I only want to delete the face. Let's select this top edge. F, 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 F. Nice. Excellent. From here, Control L to select everything that's linked. I'm going to do an E to extrude. Nice. And then I'm just going to delete the back face because we actually, thinking about this, I think I've done that wrong. The reason why is now if I select this whole edge, here, like so, I'm not actually going to be able to bevel it. So if I do a Control B to bevel, we're going to get some really weird results. So let's fix that up. Selecting the back face. So all this, I'm going to go delete vertices. From here, I'm going to come in and select these edges and these edges. So I'm just undoing all my work. Edges. Let's select this all and press F to create a face. I'm going to press I to do an inset. And we can see things have gotten a little bit rough. Whatevs. Let's go ahead and select all this. M to merge at center. And then we're going to select all these. So I'm pressing C to bring up that selection tool at center. There we go. Merge at center. Last one. Merge at center. So now we've got triangles, but that's okay. Now when we select this whole area, we can now do E to extrude. Let's select this edge and this edge, Control B. I'm just going to make a small one. And there we go. There's our panel. Excellent, excellent. Control L, select everything. I'm going to press G to the X and just bring it back. We can see it's not sitting right, so let's scale it. Nice. And that door, we can probably move in just a smidgen more. Cool. Easy. However, we've kind of got this box here, so let's go ahead and start working on that box. I'm going to Shift D to duplicate this front face. Let's scale it all the way down. And we'll go GZ. How's it looking? It's got a bit of a hole in it, so that's fine. From here, I'm going to press I to do an inset. And something like that. Let's go scale on the y-axis. We'll go delete faces. Nope. Delete face. We'll select all this and E to extrude. I think that's fine. From here we can go G to Y, put it in place, and if we really wanted to, we can Alt left click and Alt Shift left click to select multiples. Goes all the way around. Control B. Excellent. And then do another Control B. Just to give it kind of like a little bit of a pedazzle. Let's go ahead and add a little bit more. Shift right click to put our 3D cursor there. Shift A to add in a cylinder. And then this is going to be kind of like a bit of a button, I would say. I think we've gone a little bit too much on the polygons on that one, but that's fine by me. I will live. G to the X. Just to kind of give it a little bit of extra detail. This one here though, the door is embedded into the actual housing. That's okay. Yeah, I'm cool with that. We could now probably build maybe these little vents in here. So I'm going to do Alt. I'm going to do Control R, add an edge loop. Let's do Control R to add in another edge loop. Alt left click on these 2 points. I think it's a little bit off there. Let's do Control B through here. I'm going to select these two. I to do an inset. Let's scale along the x-axis till we get a bit of a square. Shift D, pull that one out. But what we will do is E to extrude in there. So we kind of got a bit of a hole to work in. From here, we could probably add in a fan or a grill. I reckon we add in a grill. What I'm going to do is actually just make this a bit bigger. Select this one, delete vertices, and then we'll just copy and paste this one down. I'm going to press I to do an inset. Let's go Shift D on the y-axis just to pull it out because I want that face. Delete faces. Select this, Control B to do a bevel. And then this is going to be kind of like our fan mount, I guess. With this section, I'm going to add in a whole bunch of edge loops. So with a Control R to add in an edge loop, mouse wheel up. Let's do a Control B to do another bevel. Something like that. And then I'm going to delete those faces there. Now we can come in, select all these, Control L, select everything that's linked. One more. I think that they're a bit too thick. So up the top here, the transformation pivot point, at the moment by default it's always medium. So it'll always scale whatever is the central point of whatever is selected. However, if we come over into individual origins, I can now scale each individual piece. So scale Z, we're scaling it as individual pieces there. Let's just export that, extrude that, sorry, GY, put it in there. Nice. I'm going to right click smooth angle. That's looking pretty good. I like that. Do we want to put in a fan? I think we're okay without doing it. Let's just go GY. Yep. And then we'll bring that down, Shift D, something like that. That's kind of cool. The vents work. I like it. That's pretty good. I'm actually really happy with that. We can add in cables, but I reckon that's something we'll do a little bit later. We can see that kind of like in the shading we've got, it's a little bit wibbly wobbly. Let's just see if we can select all these faces. Scale X 0. Did that change anything? Nah, not really. I'm going to select this edge here, Control E, mark sharp. It's a little bit better. Let's do this one, Control E, mark sharp. There we go, that's cleaned it up. I think there was just a bit of a conflict going from shade smooth to shade sharp, mark sharp. I like it. Yep, come back into the cables. We've got our fans. Now, how are we going to do this red section? I'm going to say it's going to be very easy. Let's put an edge loop on the front door here. Control B to do a bevel. And then I'm going to come down to something like that. Let's do a bevel. Doing it a little bit of a lazy way. I'm not going to bother about creating decals and such. I just do like the red section. So what we're going to do is I'm going to select this and this. Yep. Let's create two new materials. This one here, new, is going to be red paint. And we'll click assign, because I know I'm going to forget. This piece here, Control L, plus new. This one is going to be black plastic. Oh, I've already got black plastic. Awesome. And I reckon that we make these black plastic as well. Control L, black plastic. And then the box itself is going to be, let's just go white paint. Nice. From here, let's just select everything from now. Cubic projection. Let's jump into shading. Now, technically, we could probably even throw a texture on. So if we come into assets, I've got massive library of textures. And I'm sure if I just kind of went paint, blistered paint looks pretty good. Smudged paint, if we were to throw that one on there, it's actually pretty good. And then we went red paint on there. That kind of gives us that. And then, I don't know, painted metal, for instance, if we just did something like that. We've very, very quickly thrown on that. However, yeah, it's all too smudgy for me. So let's go back to how it is. So we're going to go into white paint. Okay, thank you, Asset Browser. I know that the sun's a little bit too strong at the moment, but that's okay. With plastic, I'll turn up the roughness. And we could even just go noise texture. How are we going to do this? Control T. I'm going to go into object. Sun is very strong. So if we were to come into render properties and go into film exposure, and we just went down to like 0.2, there we go. It's not so bright anymore. Kind of wanted a little bit of a rough surface. So with a noise texture, if I were to throw this into a color ramp, not mixed color, good try, Marco, into a color ramp, there we go. And I mean, we could just do roughness. Roughness would be better. Because if we add in like normal data, that's actually going to create a lot of extra render time. So if we have a look at it from above, we don't see too much happening. However, if we increase the scale of the noise to like 100, we should start seeing, yeah, this kind of like roughness part on the white bits like that. That's pretty cool. You know what? I might even just leave it. Yeah, stuff it. Let's leave that. Let's go into an ambient occlusion node as well. And if we were to, I think, just throw that into the base color, you can see straight away that in between the little gaps around the edges, we've added in that blackness. However, if we want to define it some more, we can add in a color ramp and increase the darkness like so. So it's really, really in there. I love that meme. Let's just do a save before we forget. Painted. Let's go back into black plastic. Predominantly going to be the same thing. So we might even just jump over into the white. Let's grab everything we've just done. Back into plastic. Control V. Yo little ripper. Straight into the roughness. Into that. However, we're going to change the color over here. Way too shiny for my liking over the black. So what we'll do, I think it's the white value. If we, nope, because that's ambient occlusion, Marco. Down here, if we change the white value to black, then it's all super shiny. So let's go with the black, a little bit to the white. There we go. I think it's not big enough. Let's go 500 just to make it even a little bit more dottier. With this, let's put another edge loop through here. This face here becomes a white paint. And yeah. Doubting the white paint a little bit. Maybe if we make it, yeah, there we go. Just change the color in the color ramp to more of a darker gray color. Yeah, beautiful. All right, that was a bit easy. For this white bit, you know what? I'm just going to leave it as white, like the red color through. I mean, it's exactly the same. We could have done the exact same thing with the red. However, that by itself is quite nice. I'm going to go Shift D to duplicate that, and I'm just going to move that over, and I'm just going to move that into my asset pieces. Be gone. So now we can kind of like focus on creating the cablies. So from here, cursor to selected, Shift S cursor to selected. And what do I want to do? I like the idea of having it off to the side. So let's go ahead and add in a cylinder. Over here on the left-hand side, I'm actually going to bring down the number of vertices in it, just so it's not so dense. Tab into edit mode. Let's move it over. Make it smaller. And we'll go something like this. Let's go back into layout and actually model this out. I'm going to select the bottom here with the face. Now I'm going to bring back my spin tool. Let's go Shift. Let's go GZ. Shift right click to place my 3D cursor. And now when I'm using the spin tool, whatever I've got selected is going to rotate around that spot. So if we do that, we can see that it's rotated around. E to extrude. Let's press E again and right click to put it back in place. I'm going to scale it in and then pull it out. So now it looks like a bit of a plug. Control L to select everything that's linked. Nice. If we were to leave it like this, it would be half in the wall. So I'm just going to bring it forward. There we go. Cool bananas. And then from here, we can just go GZ. I don't know. Goes into the roof maybe. Goes into part of the wall. Shift right click. Actually, maybe we'll make that a little bit smaller. Shift right click. Middle mouse. E to extrude. There we go. And then if we really wanted to, I could go Shift D. Put it about there maybe. Then we can select this, control numpad up, oop, too far up, GY, put it like there. And then we can align the top section. If we go C to select all that, GZ. Nice, that's looking great. This is probably going to have to be maybe a metal, or we might even just go with black plastic. And if we go into rendered view, you can see how now we've got these black cables coming out of the power box and up. We might even then, while we're here, go ahead and I'm going to grab this face, Shift D to rotate, put it there, E to extrude. Let's go I to do an inset, so we're making that face like we did earlier, and down. Doesn't matter how far it's going to go down. Because I might turn this pipe into an asset later on, Shift right click, and we'll whop that in there. Whop. Awesome. Whoop, wrong way, mate. Good job. There we go. That's pretty cool. Control L, let's maybe just duplicate that a few more times. Y, Shift D, Y. However, this time, let's maybe get rid of all this stuff. Delete faces. Select that, GZ. I'm going to bring it up. Make sure we press F again. Spin tool this puppy. E to extrude. Spin tool this puppy. And while we're here, let's just kind of like copy that as much as we can. Because once again, who knows, we might use this asset later on for somewhere else. Whoops, good try, Marco. You didn't do enough. Spin tool. There we go. E to extrude. How are we looking? Let's go right click, shade smooth by angle. Into the render settings. That's pretty cool. Now, something we haven't done with the pipes, something I haven't done with the pipes is kind of created some braces that can be attached to the wall. Gonna fudge this pretty well as I've been fudging everything. Where is it? Oh, there's my planes down there. Let's just go ahead, select this, right, Shift S, cursor to selected. And then from here, what I'm gonna do is create another cube. Let's scale that up. And we will put this roughly in the position that we want. Scale it down. And we're going to scale it like so. Make sure it's off the wall. Nice. And then the fudgy way that I worked out on how to do this is let's go Shift D to duplicate this piece. Come to front view. I'm going to put an edge loop here, an edge loop here, and an edge loop here. Let's go delete faces. Select these. I'm going to do I to do an inset, and then I'm going to press I again to do individual faces. And then I can shift left, alt left click on that one, delete vertices. So now we've just got these front pieces. Bring it back about halfway, and then E to extrude. It's not going to be very noticeable. However, now if we throw on, I don't know what we got. Don't want to throw a black plastic on. I'm almost feeling a white paint. And then if we go into render settings, that's kind of cool. Let's do a Control S to save. I'm going to bring back building number 5. Let me know in the comments. What do you think? Do you like it? Ah, whoa. So now that the building's come back, that ambient occlusion is strong as. So that's just something we've got to be mindful of. So let's go ahead and just draw that back a little bit. Oh. I'm cool with that. You? If you like it, just give me a subscribe. Let me know what else you want me to make.